Welcome to another session of the Psychic News Universe. We had such great response, and thank you so much for being a part of it the first time. Welcome to episode number 2, and I think the goal now is every other week we will dive into it. What is making news from the world of politics to the royals to sports to entertainment? We'll try to cover it and go inside of it a way that you never would have expected. With my co-host, Annabelle, who is as you can see, the brains behind this outfit. I am merely your host, Rob Acampora, and our panel of experts that we will bring in. Now, this is his first time here. He was supposed to hear you here last time, but thankfully we now have him in as part of our Mega Four. Thor Sandalwood, graduate of Arizona State University, and a Vedic astrologist. Thor, elaborate on that, please.
So Vedic astrology, I got into it back around 2013. I was introduced to by my teacher at the time, and it's the astrology of ancient India. So a lot of people are unfamiliar with it. It's different from the traditional horoscopes that usually people read in the newspaper, which is based on Western tropical astrology. But I found that the Vedic astrology system is very accurate in the readings that I'm able to give and what I've seen with my clients in my own life.
Oh, wow. And if they wanted to find you to get a reading through the astrology, where can they find you at?
First of all, they can check out my YouTube channel, just Thor Sandalwood. Just type that in a search engine. And then my website is thorsandalwood.com, and that's pretty self-explanatory on how to book a reading.
Very cool. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. Now, from the panel from the last time, they're all back this time. I'm going to start down in Florida. And my fellow Mets fan, by the way, FTA, you're going to be on the spot because episode 3, when we do the quick hits, it's all about what we're going to predict for Major League Baseball. We're going to read the cards on the Mets. I'm scared to find out.
Me too.
I know.
I'm still hoping.
Keep our fingers crossed.
That's every year I do that.
Yeah. See, you got to understand something, Anna. Mets fans only know 2 things: pain and suffering.
Exactly.
That's really what it's all.
Sorry.
And hope. There's always
and hope.
next
We have hope, but then by about the halfway point, the pain and the suffering kicks in.
But there's always
Yeah.
hot dogs.
Yeah, so we listen to you. There's always hot dogs.
I'm Italian. I'm always looking for the food angle.
Oh yeah.
FTA, where can
Stadium
they
hot
find you?
dogs are the best.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in the process of setting things up. So right now, I don't have any social media. It's a work in progress.
Of course.
But she's doing amazing.
Good. I'm glad to hear.
She's doing amazing work. She got our Super Bowl prediction.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
And I love you. You're a good teacher.
I love you too, baby.
Bring in TD. How are you, my dear?
I'm good.
You're ready for number 2 here, aren't you?
I am.
Where can they find you?
My Instagram is Tarot Destiny altogether, and my YouTube channel, which I am just getting going, is Tarot-Destiny.
Welcome to the world of YouTube. It will change your life. Trust us.
And she is open to doing readings now. She
Okay,
is
great.
doing readings
Very good.
commercially. She's a fantastic reader. She's read for me. She's one of my graduates, and I just think she's amazing. So
Thank you.
give her a shot. Just message her through her DMs on Instagram, and you'll be able to find her. I'm going to have links for everybody in the description below.
Fantastic. And the last of our panel, we go overseas for the man without a doubt, the most style on the panel. He's on intuition. He's on feel. By the way, his book, Graceful Thoughts, is available on Amazon. Rick Paul, what's up?
How are we all? I'm really looking forward to this today.
We're all in trouble. That's what it means. We're all in trouble.
So, development since last week, Rick and I are doing a Monday morning vibe with the tribe.
Nice.
So Monday mornings, you can see that it's kind of between breakfast and lunch for Britain, and it's kind of early morning for us here in the United States, but you can always watch it on the replay. Basically, what we're doing is we're trying to uplift everybody, give them a good kickoff to the week, and talk about some spiritual speed bumps and potholes that people run into.
I am merely your host, but I do my own podcast, The A Game. My guest this past week was the famed voice who sings the national anthem on every Philadelphia Flyers game, Lauren Hart. She's got great stories. Take a look at it on The A Game, Rob Acampora. She tells the story about how she survived cancer and how she is now developing a third generation of the Hart family to be a part of the Flyers. Her father, Gene Hart, was the longtime voice of the Flyers for 29 years. And now it looks like her son, Beck, may have a future potentially playing hockey later on in life. So all good stuff.
Yeah. Cool guy. We'll have a link to Rob's YouTube as well. Go subscribe to him. Give him a little boost. Part of the team, but he's got his own thing going on too.
Absolutely. As the mere novice of this, I have learned a lot since the first episode, and I've learned one thing. We're going to keep it moving. Let's go around. Let's get into it. The cards are stacked. We're ready to go.
The cards are ready to go. I'm just shuffling everybody around.
You do that, and I will put up issue 1. And that was yesterday. Biden officially had his annual physical. Now, over at Walter Reed Hospital, they did declare him fit for duty. The quote that came out yesterday was, extremely detailed neurological exam shows that President Joe Biden does not have any evidence of a stroke, Parkinson's, or neurological disorders. They have declared him healthy, active, and robust. Now, ironically, healthy, active, and robust was the same comments that was used on 45 several years ago by his doctor. Well, this is where I go through your eyes and your feels and through the cards. What do we see that maybe not everybody is seeing within Biden and his health? Because when you look at it from another perspective, the council report that came out about a month ago on Biden with the possession of classified documents declared him a memory that is hazy, fuzzy, poor, with significant limitations, which does contradict, in a sense, the report that came out yesterday. Do we know? Let cards speak.
So what we'll do is we're going to pull, guys, for what is the reality? What's the truth on the capabilities right now?
Why does this feel like the Joker's wild to me? You know, Joker.
No whammy.
No way. Well, I'd say, yeah, you're right. Press your luck. Even better.
You're pressing your luck.
Constantly. I'm on this show. Come on now.
Oh, dear. All right. We're going to bring this up nice and big so everybody can see it.
Right.
And let's take a look. So, you know, one of the things that, and just to remind everybody, the way that I do this particular spread that we all agreed upon, this is like the dominant energy in the situation.
Okay.
And this is the under the surface, the shadow self, the they don't want to see, or they don't want anyone to see. Mm-hmm. And then this runs kind of like a timeline. So if we look at this, we've got that 8 of Wands, which is all about speed and progress, which means that things are happening. We can clarify that with a couple of cards in a minute. Here, we've got the King of Cups in reverse, which is someone who is not in control of their emotions. I think he's demonstrated that a few times. It is a symptom of things such as dementia, head injuries, that kind of thing. And I just want to make sure that we do put our banner up here because, of course, this is for entertainment purposes only.
So please, no wagering.
We're not doctors, no wagering. So here, the team that is working together with this 3 of Pentacles, in tarot, when we're talking about Ace, 2, and 3, we're always talking about things that are not quite formed. It's not until we get to the 4s that things are starting to get more physically formed. So you know what's funny? It's a lot like poker. When you get Ace, 2s, and 3s, nothing is formed at that point. The higher the card, the more form you have in poker. It's kind of funny. We're playing poker here. We're just playing tarot poker. So, did you know there's a game called tarot?
I did not know there was a tarot poker. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Because originally tarot was a game.
See.
And so you have to take my tarot class because we talk about the history of tarot.
Well, if I keep hosting this, I'm gonna have to. Come on.
So yeah, there is a game tarot that you can play with cards, but and not the Stephen Wright one where we get the death card and somebody dies.
This is how you've known me for 25 plus years because you knew I went there.
So this would not being formed, we've got some emotional and foundational things because it is the Pentacles. So I think there's a little bit of slippage here. Let's put it that way. When we get into this, they're trying very, very hard with a team to kind of keep the end at bay with this world in reverse. So, and here, the under the surface, it's just disclosure all over the place. We're going to see this come out whether we like it or not. What do you all think? Thor?
You're the newbie. He's the newbie. Yes. He's got to go first. Yes. Thor, you finally get the spotlight. What are you getting off of this?
Well, I feel I've been able to look at his chart, and there's the transiting nodes and the eclipse that's going to be happening on April 8th. That's kind of what I'm worried about. The energies for the next year for Joe Biden is, I do feel with this 12th house energy that's happening, and along with Annabelle's cards, I feel like we're going to continue to see a steady, and maybe the media is going to be able to kind of cover it up more, but I feel like there's definitely a decline astrologically. The energies there are showing a decline. It's going to get harder and harder for them to try to manage the situation. I think the staff around him.
Well, it's interesting you put it that way, because watching it from a political standpoint and watching it through the media, there are certain things that you sit there and say, okay, they protected Joe last time. He only did one debate. He didn't travel on the road. It's kind of the same thing. And you're seeing the surrogates more than anything. Somebody like Gavin Newsom, who's been more of the voice for this whole thing than Joe Biden. So if I'm interpreting what you're saying, it's that in a weird way, he's going to be more in a shell maybe than he was 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I see. I see that there's going to be, in fact, I see less and less of the spotlight over the next year. So if anything, they're going to be trying to give him less spotlight. We might have periods of time where he's, not doing these press conferences for several weeks at a time, and everyone's kind of asking, where's Joe Biden? We might get more of that based on the energies I'm reading.
Very interesting. FTA, I'm going to come to you. I know you're down in Florida where it is definitely leans a little more Republican in parts, but there are parts of the state where it does lean a little more Democrat. I don't know if that plays into your vibe here, but what are you getting off of this as far as what we could see with Biden in the next few months?
Well, what I threw some cards yesterday when I heard that he went to Walter Reed, and I was like, interesting. He definitely, I think the Walter Reed visit, what he was told to go. That's what I got. And he was told to go. And what's really freaky is some of the cards that I threw down yesterday are the same that Annabelle has got up here now, which really was very
Yeah, but that is kind of freaky, because it's like, you got your cards, you got your cards, and they're kind of matching up, and I'm like,
yes.
Happens all the time.
There are people behind the scenes that still want him to proceed, and he was made to go get his exam. And I just really, it's not looking good. And I think I agree with a lot what Thor said, is that there are going to be, we're not going to see him as much. And I think he's just a prop, in my opinion.
FTA, what cards did you get in common?
Can you put up?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Because it's a little hard to see. I did get the King of Cups.
In reverse, yeah.
In reverse.
That's coming up for him.
I got the Seven of Swords. Is that which?
Five of Swords.
Five of Swords. Excuse me. I had that. I had the Eight of Pentacles, and I also had the Eight of Wands.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of the same. I had one or two that were different, but there are, especially the what stood out to me was the Eight of Pentacles, because there are people behind the scenes, the money people that we don't know about, but they really want to keep him running.
Yes.
And I still am upset about it, because I feel it's elder abuse. I really do.
What was interesting, you made a comment about the fact that it happens a lot, that sometimes when two people are making the same reading, that the same cards do come up. Now, as somebody who's a poker player, playing enough against people, that doesn't happen that often. So it is interesting to find out you had 4 cards in common, and you say that happens more frequently.
And we have 78 cards.
That's what I'm saying. You
and they go in reverse.
Right. So, by doing that in a weird way, it's like going, I got to admit, it was like there was a little bit of this stand up on the arm kind of going, really? What?
Well, so Alicia Wicker and I, another YouTuber, everybody knows her. If you know me, you know Alicia. She boosted my channel and got me all set up. When we would do dueling tarot, we would do 2 separate screens for our cards.
Sure. So there's no way you're going to know what
get the same cards all the time. Yeah. So, and just to kind of flesh this out for Rob a little bit more, as you start to read on certain individuals like Joe Biden,
sure.
Prince
Harry,
whoever, you wind up getting the same character cards a lot of the time. So
interesting.
This one keeps coming up for Joe Biden now, and he would come up previously for me as the Knight of Swords all the time. So during it's weird because it'll change during the cycle. So when it was when it was the lead up to the 2020. I would get the Knight of Swords all the time for him because he was fighting, he was talking, he was doing a lot of things. The Princess of Wales has changed for me from a Queen of Cups to a Queen of Wands, which is pretty cool. Really interesting stuff. So, and it comes up consistently. It's pretty wild.
Right away. That's how I found that very fascinating.
Yeah, just a teachable moment. If you get if you're a reader out there and you start to get a change of character card for a celebrity or political figure that you're doing readings for, or for a subject matter that you're reading on, that means that there's usually a pretty significant shift, and you should start to do some clarifier cards and find out what's going on with that. So it's pretty neat. It's a little signpost for you.
I like that. TD, now we'll come to you after all that. What can you add to this tarot?
Could you bring up the card view again?
We will do that right there for you.
Sorry. If you guys want any additional cards, I've got 27 decks here. I can pull any card you want.
Okay, to me, that 8 of Wands at the top is just messages going back and forth about his condition. Yes. The King of Cups in reverse and the 3 of Pentacles in reverse is him he's slipping mentally. I think, any work that they have done to try to prop him up is really no longer working. And I really take that, just the World card, the feeling I get from that. And is that the 9 of Wands reverse?
That's the 9 of Wands reverse. Yes, ma'am.
I just think that's just it's the end for him. I think it's the end of his career and the end of the presidency. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some, I don't know. I just feel like he's not going to be running maybe on the final ticket. I don't know if they're going to have somebody else in there or what they're going to do.
Well, that's an interesting point because there's still a lot of conspiracy theory going on that by the time we get to the convention floor, will President Biden still be the nominee? Why is Gavin Newsom making all the appearances that he's been making? Would Michelle Obama potentially be a wild card? There's been so much speculation. And the funny thing is, we're approaching March. The convention's still at least 3 months away. So we still have a lot
of time to the election. Yeah.
Rick, I know you're on feel. So what's your intuition telling you right now as we get into this?
It's great listening to everybody's interpretations there and the storyline. I mean, I do tarot when I read professional tarot, but the majority of the work that I do is on feeling, and I don't really have any sort of allegiance one way or the other politically. But I looked at the Wands card at the top of that spread, and if you won't mind, I won't mind it just up there for reference as well, if that's okay. The Wands card at the top there, I normally look at that as going over fertile ground and taking off. But I almost see it like something coming crashing down because I see it coming the other way. So something there that's previously been solid is lost its foundations. And there's going to be I feel with it, quite a stormy period because the parties involved are very, very much split. Then you throw into it somebody there who's obviously got problems with the mind and their part being in another zone, if you like. So I don't know whether we've got a split personality thing going on there, but I feel that what Mr. Biden's actually seeing is not what his other people are seeing. So what they're doing is they're putting him out there. It's almost like holding him up. And I feel a bit sad for it, because I always look at bringing positivity in with my card readings, but I am not feeling positive about this reading. I feel like he's being hoisted up. It's almost like for public ridicule. You know, he's being put in the stocks, and whether you like the person or not, or whether you believe in his politics, for me, that reading generates cruelty. You know, I would much rather say to this guy, right, we need to have whatever it is your democratic process is. We need to take you out the ball game for your own best interest. Because at the end of the day, whether you like him or not, whether you believe in him or not, he's a human being. And so my sense with this sort of Three of Cups, this is how weird my head works. Can you remember the old game Pong, where the tennis used to go
absolutely.
We're showing our age right now.
Yeah, just a tad.
Well, that's what I feel with him. That he's being battered from pillar to post, and it's all about money. So he's the figurehead. He's the rodeo clown that's being put out there, and is being bumped from pillar to post. I'm looking at the Five of Swords card for there, and the thing that stands out that for me is whoever's benefiting in the background certainly isn't Mr. Biden. It's somebody else, and whoever that is, they've got quite a dark streak to them. They're not bothered about collateral damage. They will ride roughshod over any protocol. And I feel that with looking at those cards, that this thing, and I've not looked into the news at all, he's been forced there almost. Right. So if we keep the public in the loop, allegedly, and bearing in mind a lot of my information's coming from the fact that I'm rewatching the X-Files. So somewhere. But when I come to the world card there, the world for me, it's the end of the world for him as he knows it.
Yes.
Because he's trapped in this sort of practical thing, whereas you would look at that end card if it was stood up as that he was in a place where he's nearing victory. I just feel that there's so many layers, and even he's not being told the truth. They just keep wheeling him out for the press and the public, so that all of the front is kept where it needs to be. So for me, it's a media exercise. For me, I always look at sensitivity around people. I'm not the most sensitive guy, but I look at that card reading there, and a guy's life is involved in this. And you wouldn't treat animals in that way. Somebody would step in and advocate as an advocate for him. Somebody would step in and just go, come on, we need to put your best interest first. And all of that reading there, I just think it's all going to come crumbling down for him. I'm not talking about death or anything like that, but his political career, for me, I'm looking at that world card in reverse and just thinking, no, you know, there's going to be nothing there to celebrate. And there's somebody there in the background that's pulling all of the strings. So it's not very nice for me. And I'm just looking at the hanging man there at the top there and just thinking he won't be hanging around for much longer.
Yeah. When I pulled these clarifier coins on the speed portion, this, racing to this finish line, this ultimate end, that King of Pentacles, I don't think that he's aware. I think they're giving him lip service, letting him think that he's still in control. He's still in charge of what's going on, that he's still running for office. But I think they're scrambling behind the scenes, trying to fix a situation. So we've got that Four of Wands in reverse. The White House is a mess. It's in flux. And the Seven of Wands, everybody's got a different opinion about this. And ultimately, we wind up with the Empress, who's the caretaker. That's where we wind up at the end of all this. So I think, even though they're propping him up, and I've said this in prior readings, that I think that they're keeping him in place until Michelle Obama gives the okay that she's going to go. I think they're kind of he's a placeholder, unfortunately, which is terrible.
What's interesting, too, is that from what everybody has said, and this just came over the wire within the last few minutes because we keep another computer open, and this I find interesting. 45 is demanding that Biden take a cognitive test. Nobody knew that as they were doing this reading. So in a weird way, as you say, the dominoes and the walls may be tumbling down. That's part of it. The other part of it happened in Michigan when Biden did win the Michigan primary, but over 100,000 voters within the state voted uncommitted. basically saying they don't feel Biden is good enough to be the president in Michigan. There's a lot of political debate about what's going on in Israel. That's the reason they voted uncommitted. But it takes us to topic number 2, where we're at in the process. The Republican primaries continue, despite the fact that Donald Trump now has opened up a bigger lead. His win in Michigan was almost 2-1 to Nikki Haley. So Nikki, who's been saying she's going to want to increase each time, do better with each contest. Up to South Carolina, she did. This time, she took a step back. And we're getting ready for Super Tuesday, which is coming up in about a week and a half or so. 14 contests, and that probably should sew up the nomination. So why is Nikki Haley staying in the race knowing with states like California, Texas, Alabama, Virginia, North Carolina, and the list goes on and on? Why is she still in this race? Is there a reason? As we take a look through your eyes and the cards, slight delay. Anna's trying to do 3 things at once. Hi, Rick. How are you? Wonderful. I'm going to get to the point where I have to butt in, but I don't want to. I'd be like, turns into a round of Twister with the 2 of us. It's not good. All right. So what do we got out here, Annabelle?
Oh boy.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
I love everybody's reaction. Like, oh.
Let's let somebody else go first so that I don't do all the.
Oh,
the
no problem. I was about to say, who had the loudest in your opinion on that?
I think it was TD, wasn't it?
Probably me.
Yeah, TD. Okay, why? What did you see?
Talk to us, baby.
Well, the devil and the tower in reverse, I mean, and even the 5 of Cups reverse, it's all going to come tumbling down. And then we got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. The 7 of Pentacles in reverse is no growth or a failed growth, failed crop, if you will. Yeah. And then the King of Cups, very emotional.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I think this is going to end in tears or hysterics. Yeah. I think it's going to end in hysterics.
You really think that somebody like Haley will kind of unravel then, right? By the time Super Tuesday ends, and like
we might not see it, but I think this is going to be a tremendous disappointment for her.
Yeah.
I think really going to be over it. Mm-hmm. This devil in reverse. So Rob, when we look at the devil card is the exact same card as the Lovers. The imagery on it is exactly the same, but in the Lovers card, the people look very happy and they're not chained to anything, and the devil is an angel. So it's really the reverse. The Lovers card is about coming together in a healthy fashion and kind of bringing out the best in each other. Whereas the devil card is really about bringing out the worst. It's adhering to an idea or a concept or a thing, even though you know it's not working, even though you know that it's going to be detrimental, like substance abuse, those kinds of things. So the fact that it's in reverse means that she's shaken right now. She's feeling that maybe this isn't a good idea. And that Tower card, I always read the Tower card when it's in reverse. It's something that we're doing to ourselves that's detrimental.
Okay, so I'm going to butt in for a second. Let's go back to what you were saying with the devil card. You're saying that this is for her. You're thinking it's a bad idea. Is there a possibility on feel that she may get out before Super Tuesday?
Let's skip to one of our colleagues here.
Oh, well, then
let's go to Rick,
who doesn't have a horse in this race, which makes this more interesting. I always feel. Rick, when
you are. All right. Can we have the cards back up again? I'm looking at the cards there, and this, when you've thrown the name at me, I've got no idea as usual, none whatsoever. So this is purely about feelings there. The first words that came into my mind when you started speaking about her was that she's actually addicted to the drama. She's actually addicted to the power of being in place, that she loved the sort of to-ing and throwing and just being in the limelight and being that star. And when I'm looking at that from when I'm starting with the card on the left there, I'm just feeling out, because I don't like the word predicting, but I'm just feeling a lot of sadness in the background, that without this drama, without all of this thing, there's very little going on in her life, that she could sort of drop out of that and drop into an alternative. She likes the power and the I don't know what the right word is, but the recognition that goes with it. I'm seeing that Wheel of Fortune for me as being something there that she's making bad choices, that she's alienating people that realistically could be on her side, but she's got locked into this sort of place of I am the most important thing, and you will listen. And I sense that she's gradually losing support. The one upside down there again with the money, and you'll have to forgive my ignorance here, Annabelle, because I've never read cards in reverse. So this is total feeling with this, that
so
she's sweeping her money down the gurgler.
Yeah, the seven of Pentacles is sweeping her money down the gurgler, and that's the most awesome thing I've ever heard you say.
and the devil for me is that she's got enslaved, she's got chained into the wrong way of dealing with things, and she's basically, I'm trying not to swear here because we're on live, but she's basically BSing her way through stuff that she doesn't know. We discussed on the first episode about being a post turtle. She's in a position of power, but nobody knows how the bloody hell she got there. So it's what she's doing is she's over exaggerating. She's over estimating her own ability. And when I look at the card underneath, I'm just thinking, I would go and invest in something else. But, go out there, go long distance lorry driving, because you're over qualified where you are at the moment. You've got no idea. And the tower in reverse for me, again, I'm looking at the tower there and just thinking, you need a rebuild. You brought it all on yourself. The chickens have come home to roost. And personally, not knowing anything about it, I'd be looking at that card there and just going, right, I would be taking a step back, getting a strong glass of wine or whatever it is that you drink, and just watch what you've built start to crumble. And then you've got to rebuild it in your own image. But hopefully you'll be away from the masses while you do that and inflict yourself on somebody else. We've gone a bit controversial, but that was the feeling. I got very passionate about that for some reason. And if anybody knows me, I've got no interest in politics whatsoever. So don't shout at me too much, okay?
That's why we love Rick, because, again, it's a very different take. But there is a couple things I can defend his point on. The seeking of attention. Now, you've got somebody who probably knows doesn't have much of a chance to win the nomination. But if you're taking the attention, that means you're keeping your name out there, which means you're still trying to set up potentially for a run in 2028. If you're out of sight, you're out of mind. So maybe that plays partly into the attention factor, because if she seeks it, her name is still out there. People still know who Nikki Haley is. Whether or not that is a positive or a negative, that's another part of Rick's spiel, as he was saying. We don't know. And will there be regrets? That is going to be an interesting thing, because there's a lot of people within our own party that are probably saying to her, hey, enough's enough. It's time for us to, everybody to come together and let's get to the next step. With that in mind, hey, Thor, you've been quiet right now, but now we come to you. Where are you at with all this?
So actually, I wouldn't mind. I have a comment about the tarot card spread myself, because I can read cards. If you want to put that up.
We can do that. Let's do that for you. And what do you see, sir?
So basically what I'm seeing with this card spread is the tower reversed. I feel like she already knows this is like the end is already being foreseen. It's kind of we're just kind of like trying to stretch out the end here as long as we can. Because it's not upright. Upright would be sudden, very severe and sudden. But I think she already sees the writing on the wall with this. Then we got the devil card reversed up in the top there. I feel like she might be obsessed with this. Like she might have had this dream about, kind of a dashed dream in a way, but it's an obsession. But also I want to also put the idea in there. This could also represent that there's forces at play behind the scenes. This could be Trump's team. This could be people that there's a larger, if you want to call it a conspiracy, a larger network at play that is making sure that this doesn't happen. So there's phone calls going on behind the scenes. There's kind of a puppet master in a way, if you want to think of the devil card like that. But it can represent big players behind the scenes kind of disrupting her bid to make this happen. King of Cups reversed. I mean, this could represent Trump or, different people within life script here that are going to be thwarting this plan, because you'll notice that the King of Cups reversed is right next to the Tower reversed. So there could be this King of Cups who's deciding that this isn't going to happen. This could be Trump or other people in, having to do with the MAGA cause. And I just feel like this, I mean, 7 of Pentacles reversed. And we're kind of going backwards through the reading, but 7 of Pentacles reversed. I do feel like she's going to lose support. The money's not going to be backing her. And maybe, even though we're hearing about a lot of these lawsuits that are happening with Trump at the moment, and we're hearing about all this money that he's apparently owing through all these lawsuits and judgments, it might show that there's a lot of actually backing that's moving away from Nikki Haley and going back towards Trump. So this is what I feel like I'm getting out of this reading.
So now I heard something interesting, that she was possibly staying in the race to secure a position on the Democratic winner in their cabinet. So that was something that I heard. I'd like to pull some cards on that and see what you guys think, if that's okay.
FTA, stand by, because we're going to go to you next. While she's pulling some cards.
So
here.
this is she sticking around to become a representative in a Democrat cabinet? So getting that 9 of Cups, this is a wish card. So years ago, like when people would get readings, I've been to readers, they'd have you shuffle the cards and they'd say, make a wish. And if you got this anywhere in the spread, it was you got your wish. I don't do that because I think it's kind of hokey. But this is a wish card. She's not getting her wish. She's not, if that's her end game, she's not getting it. And they're leaving her out to fry with this 9 of Pentacles in reverse. 9 of Pentacles upright is protected, sacrificing luxury for, sacrificing your freedom for luxury and security. And then here is the Emperor. So whoever is the power monger behind all this is just not going to let this happen. TD, what do you think? Or I'm not TD. FTA. What do you think?
Well,
bringing your beautiful.
Could you bring the card? The first thing I on the what really struck me. I'm answering another question that just popped in my brain. The Devil over the 8 of Pentacles. To me, when the way Anna taught us is that something your eye catches something to, and that really having the devil on top of that said to me that there's somebody in the background is keeping her in there, maybe money, who knows, keeping her in there. And that's what really struck me as far as the answering. If she's wishing to get on the somehow with the winning team, the Democrat, if they win, who knows? I don't see it. I don't see. I just don't see her getting her wish. And to me, the Devil in reverse and the 8 of Pentacles, that situation, the way those cards laid there, for me, says there are people behind the scenes, because I feel that part of her, she wants to keep in, it's ego, like Rick was saying, and she wants to do this, but she has to be, her logical side has to see that this is not working. But I think there's people behind the scenes that are telling her, you have to stay in. And that two card combination really spoke to me. And I said, oh, this is, there's more playing out there than what we know.
So now this is an interesting little feature that's going on with having a bunch of psychics read the same thing. For me, what I zeroed in on was the tears, and that I did this to myself. And FTA is drilling down on this. So I think it's kind of cool. It's one of the cool things about having a round table like this, is we all zero in on a different thing. I've got her emotions personally, and FTA is coming up with the power brokers behind the scenes, which is really neat. So
to wrap up this segment, I'm going to pose one question to everybody. It's a simple yes or no based on what we're seeing within the cards and what you're feeling. Nikki Haley running 4 years from now, yes or no? FTA, what do you think?
No.
TD.
I just don't see her doing it. I don't think she has the oomph,
Okay. TD.
No, but I will say, they can have anybody run that they want. Because what speaks to me is somehow she's still getting the funding.
For now.
Right. So there's got to be a reason that they're doing that.
That good. You're right. That does have some logic to it. Thor, what do you think 4 years from now? Yay or nay on Nikki Haley?
No.
That's an emphatic no. I like it. That's like shut it down. That's it. Yeah. Rick, with no horse in the race, what's your feel on this?
Yes, in her mind through ego, but no in practicality because she ain't got the backing behind her.
Good way to wrap that segment up.
So now I think it's going to depend on how bad the humiliation factor is for this election process. So if the humiliation factor is really big, no, she's not going to run again. But if it's not that bad, if they sugarcoat it, maybe she will. So we'll have to see.
As the non-psychic, this is the only interjection I can give on this whole thing. I agree with one thing that has been said, and it was just said by TD. There's got to be a reason why you would stay in this long, knowing full well you're not getting the nomination, unless it's possible you're trying to set it up from 4 years from now. The longer you stay in, again, name recognition. But the hard part of it is going to be, how is the party going to remember you over the next 4 years? And then the other question, who else is going in the race 4 years from now? Well, something to ponder.
It's going to be like Lloyd Christmas. So you're saying there's a chance?
Oh, great. We just summed up politics with the movie Dumb and Dumber. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? A little too ironic. With that, let's go overseas to the Royals, because Prince Harry had a high court challenge on his security status in the UK, which he did lose. Now, what this means is, on a case-by-case basis, he will have security, but not all the time if he goes back. Now, he feels he still faces significant threats to his security, to him and his family. So he's appealing to the High Court of the UK about this whole thing. Guys, through your eyes and through the cards.
Well, if I may,
please. You're the resident expert on the Royals.
So this is the step stool, and to be sure, like most of us are, Rick is out there. He's boots on the ground, but he doesn't pay that much attention. He's like, But so this is the stepping stool to him getting his IPP status back, which is his international. What does it stand for, guys?
Protected persons.
International protected persons, which means that anytime he goes to another country, that country is obligated to provide funding for his security.
Which means that it's coming out of the people's pocket to provide that security.
Not just England, but the country that they're in. So we saw this when they did their freedom flight over to Canada. They stayed there for a bit, and then Canada said, yeah, we can't pay this anymore. So that was when they skipped it on over to California, which I do think was the ultimate destination anyway.
Right. And Harry, look, it's not like he's got a lot of funds. I mean, what did he have? The lawsuit against the Mirror? He won about $500,000 on that. And where else is he getting money these days? I mean, hasn't he been, forgive my ignorance, has he been completely cut off by the family?
So yes and no. His housing and everything was free when he was there. He didn't have to pay for that. He didn't have to pay for laundry service, dry cleaning, cell phones, any of that stuff. So he does have a fund of about $40 million from his mother.
That's it? $40 million? That's it?
That's it. It's not much.
Oh.
He'll scrape by cutting coupons. He also inherited a number of millions from the Queen Mother when she passed away.
Right.
So and also when they came over to the Americas, King Charles, he was both.
Right.
He was providing upward of $3 million to them for sundry items.
You know, I laugh at what you're saying, but when you're somebody who's probably more used to living a lifestyle that's in the hundreds of millions as opposed to the tens of millions, Harry's mind is probably somewhat in panic, like, I don't know if I can do this. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, oh my God, you sounded just like him.
Oh my God.
So, you know, you've been around rock stars. You know how it goes.
No, that's a great
The more
point.
money
Yeah.
they make, the more stuff they're getting.
God, yeah, and that's what they're used to. And
So,
that's a very good point.
I truly think that he is handicapped socially in the sense because so many things were done for him.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, there's the whole passage in his book. He was griping in his book Spare because his brother got 4 sausages and he got 3 when they were at Balmoral. And his brother had the view of the Philadelphia.
His life just sucks, really. I'm telling you.
So, you know, I think the baseline is a little bit different. Now, Rob knows me. He knows I'm a spoiled brat. But
notice I'm not commenting.
thanks, Dad.
Where's Gregopedia? Hello.
So, you know, it's easy to go, oh, well, you know, I don't have a brand new Range Rover. Not for me, but for Prince
I'm
Harry.
getting the yeah, I get the
So, you know, I think anything outside of a castle is kind of hard living for him.
Yeah, because you're talking about more the mental aspect of this whole thing, where the normal person's sitting there just kind of going, dude, you're set for life. Manage your money. You're fine. Your kids are fine.
Money. Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think it would be interesting to look at like where he's at now with this insane appeal. I'm going to color the reading. Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome.
I'm going to color this reading with, I just think that the appeal is a bad idea, not psychically, terrestrially. So I'm going to throw some cards. Do you know why we say throw cards?
No, I don't actually.
So does anyone in the room know why we say throw cards? This is a little fun fact.
Notice nobody's raising
No.
their
So,
hold it, Rick, get Rick up. You know,
is Rick up?
Rick is
No,
raising-
if you've seen my shuffling, you'll know why we call it throwing cards, because it's like a 78 card pickup.
So one of my hashtags for my channel, and I'm so mad that I didn't name it this, is Sloppy Shuffle Tarot, because I routinely would like throw my cards all over the place. I just dropped them before. So this is
me trying to get the cards up.
Oh, you just do it on that one. It's easier. Just drag it over. Yeah, the bigger screen is.
There we go. I can be of a help.
Bigger is better. Bigger is better.
You would say that. The other cards.
Well, my husband is almost 6'4".
Well, that's true. Can't argue that. He's a tall man.
So this is just how Prince Harry is. Oh dear!
No.
Do you guys see what we got there?
Yep.
I like how everybody's face just went crazy over that card.
Oh,
So
good memory.
explain that card. Why everybody just like cringed a little
So,
bit. Ooh.
I'm gonna bring this. I'm gonna bring it to FTA real quick because she went, oh, FTA, what is this all about?
Oh, that card is the nostalgia card, the, you know, loving happily ever after, childhood,
Wishing I was back at the castle.
yeah,
Getting
the castle,
flowers,
everything. I had everything. I could get everything I wanted. I don't have to worry about bills or
and
car
there's the security guard
insurance
in
or
the background.
Yeah, this gets handed to you.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
You know, don't have to worry about anything in life.
Yeah, this really is the bliss card.
Yeah.
And this is our success card, Rob. The 6 of Wands here.
Mhm.
This gentleman is coming home from a battle within a war. So he has won the battle,
Right.
but not the war. But he's very successful, and everyone's
Well,
very
yeah, look
happy
at the
about
bank
it.
account. He won the battle. I mean, you know, most people would be, like I said, most people would be happy with this.
So
But going back to what you were saying, if your lifestyle is what you're used to, and going back to the upper card as you were talking about, if that card, which is interesting how you explain to represent, if he's used to having everything handed to him and he's got the guards and he's got people who serve him and you don't have that life anymore, there's where the mental and emotional what's going on here is hitting.
yeah.
Mhm.
So TD,
Yeah.
What about this fella right here? What are we talking about with our King of Pentacles in reverse?
Well, I view that as his dad going, no more. No more. And so then it leaves him, the Eight of Wands, in his mind. What am I going to do? I'm stuck here, blah, blah, blah. My world is over. Yeah. He's still thinking about his mom. When I saw that Six of Cups, I'm sorry to go backwards, but I just thought he's thinking of his mom.
Yeah.
He's still thinking of his mom.
Yeah. It's, there's a lot going on here. So TD, you want to wrap up this end part here too while we're at it?
Sure. I mean, I think he is rendered immobile. He cannot make a decision one way or the other. And he feels like, in the end, unless dad or whoever is propping him up, he's not going to do well.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
I mean, I think he's in my opinion, he's very naive in a lot of ways, right? Because everything's always been provided for him, right, and it's always been top of the line stuff. Mm-hmm. He doesn't know how to make money. He was not brought up that way. He has no concept. He's very naive in the way that the world really works. Which I guess
would contribute to the stress within his life and why he is feeling the way he's feeling. Thor, what do you see?
So a couple statements I have on this. Number one, I know the astrology chart, when I looked at Prince Harry's, which I've looked at quite a bit, it does show that things are going to be unraveling for him internationally. Okay, so I feel like he's going to be losing a lot of support. I don't feel like he's going to win this appeal. And this is interesting, but when I looked at the tarot card spread and I saw the King of Pentacles there reversed, I did immediately think of King Charles. And I actually got this intuition that King Charles may be pulling strings behind the scenes internationally. He is pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And he might be actually orchestrating, and whether this is conscious or subconscious, things not to go Prince Harry's way. So in a way, he's forced to come back home. He's not going to have these protections everywhere he goes. Yeah. And this could be a power move to kind of have him come back hat in hand back home, right? Where he's going to come back to the royal family and essentially bow the knee. So this could be a lot of behind the scenes things happening. I know that King Charles has tremendous influence with all types of dignitaries around the world, corporations, and it just probably takes him just making a quick phone call to make things happen.
Yeah. Interesting take on that, Thor.
And better yet, he comes back without Meghan.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be with Meghan.
What would make you hold it, TD? What would make you say that? Do you really think that they could force that? Do you really think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think they could do that in the snap of his fingers. King Charles. I think it's. I don't know why Harry's holding on to this whole thing, and I think there's more behind the reason that he left than what he's saying, or simply that it was because of his mother's death, things like that. Right.
Well, Thor, let me go back to you then. Was anything that you saw in there with a possibility of a Meghan Markle maybe being out of the picture?
I feel like this year they're likely to separate. So I feel like when he comes back, I feel like it's just going to be Prince Harry coming back.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's my opinion,
I mean,
so I did a quick reading on this yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I did post it on my YouTube. I didn't want to dig too deep because I didn't want to spoil today. But I got that she is very angry at him and blaming him for all of this. And it's going to be the key excuse. If you can't take care of us, then I have to go my own way with these children.
Rick, I think I heard you in the background. Did you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, the words that sprung through my head was that Harry is a legend in his own lunchtime. That's his biggest problem. He's bought into the hype that I am royal, and he's got that sort of entitlement about him. And he's called the bluff. You, as a gambler, will know a lot better than me. But he's called the bluff, and he's had his bluff answered. He's not going to be allowed to move on and try new ventures. So I'm looking at that Ace of Wands there in reverse. He's not going to be able to move on because they basically got him by the short and curlies. Again, I'm just checking my words there. Like you say, in his mind, he has been in that state of bliss, but he refused to move on because despite difficulties, and I get this, but this is my brand of therapy when I'm working with people. Everybody's got a backstory. Some are more difficult than others, but you have to come to a point in your life where you go, and then what? So he needs to find some sort of point of closure and acceptance so that he can move on, but he's not allowing himself to move forward. So he's playing the role of kind of like the subservient that is going to everybody with his, with his cup in, it's almost like the program, please sir, can I have some more? And he's looking for that extra ration, and the king is having none of it. Right, he has got all of the power. He has got all of the backing around the world, and I think that this is a power play move. I think I agree 100% with what you guys said, that he will come back, but he'll come back with his tail between his legs. He'll be put in a place where the offer's on the table. Yes, we'll accept you back in, but it's on our terms, not yours. So either play the game, or you've got the other alternative. And the problem that he's got is that I agree with you on that bit, Annabelle, that she's got all of the power. As soon as they've got them kids, he's going to be in the middle of a rock and a hard place. He's not going to know whether he's on his backside or his elbows, and he's just trapped in his own thoughts. He doesn't know what to do for the best for him. And to me, he's not the brightest bulb in the box. So he's like your the black sheep of the family. I'm trying to think of a non-negative thing to say about him. He's just been brought up to do and follow rather than have his own mind. And when he's been given the opportunity to have his mind and go out on his own, he's still casting out for other people's opinions. So until he gets his own mind, I just see him like being on the magic roundabout for a long time to come. I feel a lot of pressure on him, and I feel a lot of sadness heading his way as well in the next few months.
Yeah.
Rick, what you just said is very fascinating on the last part of it, because when you look at his actions, that's exactly what he's been trying to do. He's been trying to be his own man, but it almost, you would know better than anybody. It's like he's been tripping over his own feet in the process.
So he had the illusion of agency when he was in the royal family. Like, there's a lot of glad handing and I think part of it is the politeness of the courtiers and the people that work in the palaces. Now, I don't know if you know this, but the people that work in the palaces for the royal family, they don't make a lot of money.
Okay. No, I didn't realize.
Yeah, they do it because it's not a lucrative position, but it is an elevated position.
Okay, so it's considered status.
It is a very good status place to start. If you want to go into hospitality, anything like that, if you can get into the royal family as a butler or as chambermaid, those kinds of things, it does look very good on your CV.
So really it's about the next step by having that. And there's the payoff.
So, and that was part of the problem. That was part of the problem with Meghan, is that she was treating those people very poorly.
Right.
By all accounts, I think that was universal, that she was treating those people in the castle very poorly and being very diva-ish about it. So,
okay, but where was Harry's head in this whole thing? Because when he came to America, you kind of thought, okay, he's doing a book, he's trying to, wasn't thinking with his head.
Yeah.
Which goes back to what a lot of the panel was already saying. Yeah.
Another part of the anatomy.
Yeah, good times.
Okay.
Good times.
Okay, so what have we learned here? You can be a psychic all you want. When it comes to the man, take the brain out. Great.
So, and I just want to say, everybody that picks up on this, Prince Charles King Charles putting him between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
I always said, and this was when the late Queen was still alive, that there was a plan B for Harry, that she put in place a plan B. There was a contingency plan in the event that this went sideways, because they knew it wasn't going to go well, and that they were going to bankrupt Harry before he could leave her. That way he wouldn't be handing her over millions and millions and millions.
Right.
This perhaps is the same thing. Maybe King Charles is making it so difficult through different avenues to force him to come back. And like I said, I do think that, security has been the tentpole that Meghan has kind of based this whole running royals on. So, if the security is pulled, if the finances and I don't, for the life of me, I don't think that the finances that she's fighting for the security are going to go to security. I think that they're going to create the illusion that they need this inflated amount for security. And then once they secure those funds and the continuation of those funds, they'll cut off the security and have minimal security. When he got on that plane to fly back for his father for the 24-hour trip, he had ragtag security.
Ooh.
He had one bouncer with him, basically. Someone described it as an LA bouncer. And it was about right. Like, I hate to say it looked like a bouncer, that came off the plane with him. There was a woman too, so whatever. But I think that maybe this is part of the game. What do you guys think on that?
Well, I got a feeling just looking at the cards and just knowing what's been going on. It's almost like what you do to an alcohol, when someone is an alcoholic and you're or any substance abuse, and you have to just let them hit rock bottom, because they're going to get to a point where there's nothing else to do. They have to make that decision. You can sit there and you can help him all if they don't want the help. And I have this feeling that, and I do agree that there's things, King Charles is doing things in the background, but I think, and it's, just from a human point of view, it's awful to see somebody just deteriorate and go downhill so quickly. I mean, yes, he did it to himself, but you still have to have some empathy that you're watching this person just, before our eyes, just, implode. And I think he's going to get to the point where, he's not literally, but he's in the gutter, and there's no place else to go. And he's got to face his reality that, boy, I really messed up. And
I think potentially he could wind up in the gutter. I think he could be one of those, peri World War II royals that all were scattered all over Europe, that had, princely titles, or the Russian dukes that all fled.
Right.
They were all royalty without a home. They were just kind of floating around on the charity of other organizations. I mean, even the Empress Zaina, Nicholas II, his sister, she had to go back to Denmark, to their mother's homeland, and the mother went as well. And they were basically there on the charity of the Danish royal family, which, to keep one royal person, is pretty expensive. So if you start, adding those up, it's going to be a big deal. Now, Harry's burned a lot of bridges with Courtney Cox, Oprah, everybody in Hollywood. Where's he going to go? Whose door is he going to knock on and say, hey, we need a place to stay. Can we couch surf for a bit? It's just really putting him in a weird situation, but it's unfortunate.
Wrap it up. Go ahead.
It's just, it's sad to see it, but, you have to just say, you stupid idiot. You had everything. You had everything going for you. And all you had to do was go around, shake a few hands, open up, go to the store, open it up, come on. And it just frustrates me so much that part of it is he listened to somebody who he shouldn't have listened to. And it's you want to kind of slap him in the face and say, you idiot, you had it all, what's the matter with you? But you just have to, It's sad to see it, but I think he has to go through this. He has to do and just go through, and maybe, you know, I'm still positive. I'm a positive person. Maybe he'll learn his lesson. But
Thor, I'm going to give you the last word on this because you look kind of pensive. What are you thinking here?
Well, actually, I have a really important question for Thor.
Okay.
Thor, karmically, what is Harry's chart? What is his direction? Like, you know, I know you and I talked about what my direction is on my Vedic chart. What is his real, like, primary objective for this lifetime? Do you have that? Like, can
Yes. So karmically, Prince Harry kind of signed up for the school of hard knocks life, if we want to think about it from a soul perspective. He's got one of his karmic nodes in the 6th house of his chart, which usually the 6th houses has to do with divorce, conflict, breakups. So on a macro level, he signed up to experience this kind of downfall and this negative, which we would consider a negative experience from our limited perspectives. But on a macro level, the soul level is always using hardship to grow consciousness.
Right.
Interesting.
Very cool. Very cool. And I know you gave me some great insight on my journey through this particular lifetime. So if anybody wants to get any kind of advisement like that, just go see Thor. He is my favorite astrologer. So
I think we're able to wrap up that segment. Oh, we got one more segment before we get into quick hits, and this is from pop culture because this has been one of the most talked about specials on television right now across the globe. Lifetime Channel doing Where is Wendy Williams? The controversy about this is that they got up close and filmed Wendy Williams while she's going through dementia. Now, reports have come out from the ex-publicist Sean Zanotti, who, by the way, is seen on screen in this documentary film, that she knew about the sickness as they were filming this documentary. Apparently, Wendy was diagnosed about a year ago to the day that she has dementia. Now, Zanotti has said, quote, "This is not the story we signed up for, and I feel like I was lied to by Lifetime." Meanwhile, the show is gaining more and more popularity because of the curiosity about Wendy Williams, former shock jock herself, very successful on Hot 97 in New York City, WDAS in Philadelphia, having her own talk show for almost a decade on television syndication. So this is one of those things where were there lines crossed here in the filming of this? And obviously, Wendy Williams, who's still a relatively young woman, I believe is only 59 years of age, going through this is like, how violated? But unfortunately, does she even have enough cognitive recognition to know what's going on? And if you watch the special, you'll see, no, not really. What do you see?
So we'll take a look at what's going on with Wendy and what her path is first, and then we'll see how the interaction with Lifetime, if they're taking advantage of her. Oh my goodness.
No.
Oh my goodness.
All right, start with the oh my goodness part of this whole thing.
I don't see that she's long for sticking around. I don't think she's going to be here for much longer. Yeah, I think we're in a very, very swift, rapid decline. Now, all of these suits in tarot, Rob, have a speed to them.
Right.
So the wands are the fastest, the swords are the second fastest, the cups are slower, and the pentacles are the slowest. So if we do timing with tarot, the wands are days, swords are weeks,
right.
Cups are months, pentacles are years. And we could do that with minutes, seconds, and hours too.
Okay.
So this, we know the devil in the details now. The problem has been routed out. We see it. And this is a departure from the problem being problematic. And this Two of Cups is reuniting with the great beyond, in my opinion.
Okay.
That's my opinion. You know, I want to see what my fellow psychics say here.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, Rick, I know you're probably not familiar with Wendy Williams, so you're going to go straight on feel. What are you getting off of the cards here?
A hell of a lot of sadness. Hell of a lot of sadness. And I know that we spoke about off camera a little bit about what her personality's like, but I can truthfully say that this really is 100% off feels, because I've never heard of the lady, but I'm just going on these cards there that I feel that she's being manipulated. You know, to a certain point. It's in my head. What I saw was a handler, you know, like a choke chain round her neck that was leading her out, sticking her in front of the cameras. And maybe when she started out with the idea of filming this, maybe she was a little bit complicit. You know, thought I could do a little bit more, but like you spoke about there with the acceleration of time, maybe it's just been taken totally out of her hands. Because I've had first-hand experience of seeing somebody deteriorate from where they were reasonably okay to going, basically being dead behind the eyes and not knowing what was going on, and then back again. So you never knew what sort of frame of mind they were in. So it's a real sad thing to see. And I'm looking at that second card coming in there, that there is movement that is really, really quick that is coming in. And it's moving on from that sadness. So I'm sorry to say this, that it's just feeling like somebody's just being cast aside there. Whatever she thinks, it doesn't matter, because they're milking the cash cow. Yeah. They're just taking what they need. And much like when we had the discussion about Mr. Biden there, there's a sad element to it that somebody's not stepping in and going, this is a human being. This is somebody's mum. This is somebody's, you know, somebody's offspring. And all of they're seeing it as is money. And as we get to the is that the 10 of
cups in
reverse? The 10 of cups, that for me is normally, if it's right way up, it's basically utopia. It's your lovely card where happy families, everybody's in it together. Well, if it's upside down, to me, the way I'm reading that is that it's going to be far from happy families. And when she goes, my sense is there's going to be a bitter battle on 2 or 3 sides of the family that are going to scrap like jackals for the money.
Yeah.
And it's gonna need somebody in the middle. You know, when we spoke about on the first one about Camilla, when she does that role where she's in the middle as the referee. Because when I look at the Ace of Swords for me personally is a BS detector. Cut straight through the illusion. If you think about swords represent air, then it's cutting right through all of the crap that's going on around it. And I just fear that she's going to be offered up to the wolves. They're all going to have a piece of her. And that will be what, for me, in the end, looking at that spread of cards, will be what does for her. The stress of seeing people that she once relied on, that was supportive, that was loving, that was, you know, even business side, that advised her in the right way, she's just going to become a byproduct. She's just going to be thrown to the wolves. And it's not a nice feeling whatsoever. She's not got anybody on her side. And with the condition that she's got, the element of loneliness in her own mind as well, I think is going to accelerate her demise. I don't do predictions, but there's such a sad feeling around all of that she's on her own.
That's pretty damn good, because I mean, there's been a lot of, and Rick wouldn't have known, there's been a lot of speculation. There's going to be a lot of infighting within the family as far as Wendy Williams' net worth and who's going to get it. I know she's got a son who I think would be the primary, but there's a lot of people who are involved in this project that is family. Yeah. So there's a lot of levels to this that really get, I mean, Annabelle, I'm going to go to you right now.
Well, I know you, because you're part of the radio industry.
Sure.
You have some knowledge of her. I didn't know anything about her as a radio personality.
Right. Well, that's where she made her mark. That's how she became.
I did like her show.
Right.
And when she had an episode, what was it, 2 years ago, where she was in the Statue of Liberty costume. It was a Halloween show, and she kind of stepped back and had an episode where she fainted, and they said it was low blood sugar or dehydration. But when I saw that, because I'm an epileptic,
there you go.
I thought she was having an epileptic
seizure
or
episode. We'll say
leading into an episode, because I recognize that feeling myself. Right. So now I wonder if that was part of this whole dementia package that she's got now.
Well, considering that she's only been diagnosed literally almost a year to the day, so there's
So I wonder, but I don't think I don't think she's going to be around very long, unfortunately. It just looks like she is winding down fairly quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody else wants to chime in on this reading, because I would like to see if Lifetime has taken advantage of this, and we probably shouldn't kind of phrase it that way, but
yeah. Well, we'll say have the powers that be that are above Wendy taking advantage of Wendy Williams. Maybe that's the best way of putting it.
So does anybody want to chime in on this before I clean up the real estate?
I think it's showing a rapid decline of her. If you could bring up the card view again, I'm sorry.
Sure, no problem.
And then the Two of Cups, I see that kind of as her handler going, this is what you're going to do. And then just overwhelming sadness with the Five of Cups and the 10 of Cups in reverse. And yes, I see the fighting that's going to happen there at the end. But yeah, I agree.
FT, I saw you. I know you're dealing with the dog, but I saw you nodding up and down with your head. You're in agreement here. I would assume.
Well,
there you go.
I'm sorry. They've been pretty good. The two of Cups for me. I have to. That's when TD said that. I went, oh my gosh, because that's exactly what I got. The two people, the managers or whoever the money people in the background, they're like going, yeah, we did it, like toasting, a good job. And it just, that's what caught my eye. And it just, it's, and I agree with Rick, it's just so sad. But that's what I took from that. The Two of Cups, like they're the people in the background, whoever are the higher ups, they're congratulating themselves. And it's
Thor, I'm going to give you the last word on this.
So when I saw that spread, what's interesting is I saw all the swords in there, and Ace of Swords reversed. It can represent things like and this is entertainment purposes only, but it represents things like needles and medications. It can represent that. So, and I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it makes me wonder if she's getting the proper treatment or the proper care as well. Because I do feel like this situation may have been people knowingly exploited this situation and put her on camera like this.
Yes.
Or that really has been probably the biggest question surrounding this whole thing. Who knew what?
So that's what I got out of it. So I don't know if they're handling even the care that she needs properly at this moment.
And so just pulling some more cards on that too. And just a little timeline in the middle here. So not protected with that Four of Pentacles in reverse. The King of Pentacles is somebody who is eroding that foundation in the surface. And the Hangman in reverse is not seeing the error of their ways. Hierophant in reverse, this is always seat of power for me. So if this is a medical situation, this would be medical personnel. And under here, it's almost under the surface, it's too far gone for them to really do anything. Mm-hmm. But I echo what Thor said. I wonder if there's, something about treatments or needles that is behind all of this here in the background.
Good stuff. And it's almost a wrap. We've done our main topics, but we like to wrap up with a thing that we did on the first episode called Quick Hits. Last time was all about the Super Bowl. I placed a bet. I was this close because the cards were saying the San Francisco 49ers. They choked late, and I lost the bet in overtime. Although I did win the over-under. So somehow I got that right. So thank you guys. I broke about even. But in this case, the Quick Hits, we're going to go into the future 10 days from now because next Sunday night is the big night in Hollywood. It is the Oscars. A lot of the awards are pretty much determined, but there are 3 categories that are definitely up for grabs. Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Picture. So with that, Anna's going to get to the cards. I'm going to do some quick hits on these categories. I'm going to start with Best Actor. The battle line is really between Paul Giamatti and Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy is a Irish actor who is the star of the film Oppenheimer. Meanwhile, Paul Giamatti is already been an Oscar nominee in the past. He's nominated for The Holdovers.
So we're going to do 1 card per person, and we're going to go rapid fire, guys. You ready? Paul Giamatti. Oh, six of Pentacles in reverse. What do you guys think?
Nope.
See, I've already got a no. All right.
I gotta know.
Why are you saying no? Why are you saying no, TD?
Because it's in reverse. All his pentacles are falling out. You're not going to win.
Not going to get it.
All right. So you already think it's going to be, we're going to go the other way with Jillian Murphy. Any, Thor, what do you get out of that?
Yeah, to me, it's like the scales of justice. So when you get reversed Six of Pentacles like that, it's like, and not in your favor. It's like the Roman emperor going like this.
Oh, and that's not what you want in an award show. That is for sure. FTA, what do you got?
Yeah.
I have to agree. He's not. It's in reverse. He's not going to win. As much as I love Paul Giamatti, he's no.
And again, he's going to go. If he doesn't win, he's going to go on the list as one of the best actors never to have won an Academy Award at the rate he's going.
I love watching him.
Yeah, he's amazing. And if you've never watched Sideways, oh my God,
that movie's great.
Movie. Rick, what do you got?
He's not going to win, no. But I'm looking at the Pentacles there coming out. He's not going to lose out overall financially. There's bigger things in the offing for him financially. So I don't think he'll cry over it too much.
All right, so
Jillian Murphy.
All right, and then let me pull up the card is.
Oh, Two of Cups in reverse, guys. I don't know if it's going to be him either.
Oh, wait a minute. So you're thinking an upset that it won't be either one of the two? Wait a minute. These are the two favorites. TD, do you stick with the fact that it's going to be Gillian Anderson by the first card then?
Oh, Jillian Murphy.
Gillian Murphy.
Gillian Anderson.
Gillian Anderson. I win X-Files on you.
Yeah, X-Files.
Greg and Peter would have been on that. Anyway, TD, what do you think?
I don't know.
Interesting, isn't it? Okay. Let me do this. Also in the category, although have not won awards during the season, Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction, although he did just win the Independent Spirit Award. Coleman Domingo for Rustin.
Sweet.
Bradley Cooper for Maestro.
All right, so Bradley Cooper.
All right, you're going to go Bradley Cooper. And the card is, hold on, let me get it. There we go. Thank you. Boom. Let me try it again. Boom. There's your card.
Bradley Cooper got a Page of Wands. So that looks favorable. And who's the other guy?
I'm going to go. Let me get Jeffrey Wright in there. He's probably the most known actor of the last of the five. Jeffrey Wright.
8 of Wands in reverse.
And that leaves one more person in the category. Give me Coleman Domingo.
10 of Swords in reverse. Guys, what do you say? Is it going to be Bradley Cooper?
You know, I still think that Julian could have a chance there with the Two of Cups reversed. To me, it's not an extremely depressing card. It could be like a bittersweet kind of win or something along those lines. But it's not as bad as the Ten of Swords. But I still think I don't feel like it's a hard no. And a lot of times when I get a Two of Cups reversed, it can mean like a mismatched relationship or a mismatched kind of situation. Maybe it's quite, maybe people aren't expecting it or there's some sort of bittersweet feeling out of it.
I sometimes get conditional with the Two of Cups in reverse. Like it's a conditional relationship, a conditional cooperation. So,
well, it seems like most of the panel's leaning toward Jillian Murphy based on the first card more than anything else.
I mean, I got Bradley Cooper.
You got Bradley. That would be an upset. That would actually be an upset.
Would be.
Go ahead, Thor.
I think Jillian. I think Jillian out of the five there.
Yeah. And during the award season, Giamatti and Murphy have really split the vote when it came to the SAG Awards, the BAFTAs, and the Golden Globes. That's the reason why these are the two main names that have been battling in the Best Actor category. So everybody figures one of the two is going to win. Nobody's really sure who's the one. If I were to go by the cards and your interpretation, it's going to be Jillian Murphy for Oppenheimer.
Who got the BAFTA? Was it Jillian Murphy?
Jillian Murphy got the BAFTA for Best Actor.
The homeboy.
No, homeboy. Okay, reset. We're going Best Actress. It's sort of the same thing like Best Actor. The split in this whole thing have been two people who have been gaining most of the awards during the award season. One of them is Emma Stone. The other one is Lily Gladstone. with that in mind, I will let you take to the cards. I will put the screen up. And what do you got for the first one? This would be Emma Stone.
Lily Gladstone.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Emma on the left and Lily on the right. Explain, Anna.
Wow.
So the High Priestess is about secret keeper, holding a place. We're not letting things out, but we just talked about this guy here coming back from the battle. He won the battle. So I'm going to say it's Bachelorette number 2.
Oh, Lily Gladstone, who's been getting a lot of incredible praise for her performance opposite Robert De Niro and Killers of the Flower Moon. As I look around the panel, everybody sort of got blank look on their face. I don't know who to go to. Rick, just because.
The one on the right, riding high.
Right. And why?
So being in the place where practically they're in a place of celebration. Everybody's looking to them for the lead. So I'm going to go with the one on the right.
Thor, I saw you nodding your head up and down. You're in agreement?
Absolutely. The second card is, if you're familiar with the ancient Romans used to have the triumph after a war, and that's what that card is. That card is taking the trophy home.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Taking the trophy home.
Yep.
Yeah.
FTA.
Number 2, Lily Gladstone. I
And
read
one
the
more.
book. I read the book.
You did?
The awesome book, and I haven't seen the movie, but from what the cards say, I'm going with number 2.
And from what I hear, you should see the movie. Everybody's saying who's read the book, they have been totally entertained by the movie itself. It stayed pretty close to the book, which says a lot.
That's good. That's good to know, because usually.
Oh no, you're right. Exactly. Sometimes when you interpret a book into a movie, sometimes it becomes a very different animal. It's very true. TD, last word.
I agree. The 6 of Wands. Although that High Priestess card, Keeper of Secrets, that's a little interesting.
I thought it was interesting too.
Okay,
Yeah.
why? What made you? Well, give me some reasoning here.
Because the High Priestess is the keeper of knowledge, but she does not tell the knowledge that she has. She keeps that close to her chest. And I don't know. It's like, I don't think it's with the 6 of Wands, I still agree that yes, that the person is going to, whoever that was, I can't remember.
Lily Gladstone.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that they're going to win, but I still think that High Priestess brings an interesting unknown factor to the awards.
I think perhaps the popular opinion at the Oscar parties is that Emma Stone should have gotten it.
Gotcha.
I think that's where I'm headed with this one.
That's interesting. Yeah, because the popular choice is Emma Stone, but Lily Gladstone is the newbie who just blew everybody away in a category that also features long-time former nominee Annette Bening and also multi-nominee Carey Mulligan. So, that's a really competitive category. Yeah. But those 2 people I mentioned were the ones that were getting most of the awards during the award season. One person who was not nominated in that category was Margot Robbie for Barbie. And there was a bit of a backlash saying, why didn't she get nominated? 9 nominations for Barbie and she doesn't get one?
The foot thing, when she stepped out and had the Barbie foot, she gets an Oscar for that. Because try and do it. It's impossible to do.
Well,
but it was perfect.
But what's interesting is that it brings up my last quick hitter here, because there's been some speculation to say if Barbie's going to win, it might win for Best Picture. And it is rare that a box office monster film actually wins Best Picture for the Oscars. All the votes seemingly during this award season have been going to Oppenheimer. They've won every award. So we're going to put the cards up. Oppenheimer versus Barbie. Annabelle, what do you got? We cut the deck. I like it. I like the tri-cut. I like that.
Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
All right. Oppenheimer first, boys and girls.
All right. Not bad.
Looks a little bit like Oscar. I'm a Barbie girl.
Don't sing that song.
Sorry. Sorry.
I'm so just since this is for entertainment purposes only. Aqua's Barbie Girl, worst song ever recorded in the history of music. Yes, I did say that out loud.
Oh,
I agree.
Come on, Robbie, let's go party.
I hate that song.
Into that. Thor, while you're laughing, what do you got?
Well, based on the cards, it looks like Oppenheimer because just the Page of Wands being upright. I feel like it wins Temperance reversed.
Yeah.
So even though I feel that Barbie's going to have a lot of support.
Right.
Yeah. So I feel Oppenheimer's going to take it.
You were saying, Annabelle?
He looks a little bit like Oscar or the MTV Music Award guy.
The moon.
Yeah, it actually does.
TD, while you're laughing, what's up?
I agree. The Page of Wands gets it. Whoever
FTA?
that was.
I'll go ahead, Tara.
No, I'm good.
Okay. FTA, what's up?
It's Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Oppenheimer. Remember?
Sorry, it's the science teacher background in me. I just know those things.
I was just like, I mean, if you could, did you guys see social media when Barbie hit people were planning their makeup, their outfits to go see this Barbie movie. It was like a whole big thing.
Yeah,
No, I haven't. No question. Yep. Go ahead. I haven't
seen the movie. I don't want to see the movie. It's just.
I have to admit to the panel, and I'm going to say this on camera. Yes, I saw the movie on HBO. I will turn in my man card at the end of this program.
I don't think that critical because Ryan Gosling was adorable in it. Like, I'm sorry, he was adorable.
I am hoping that at the Oscars, that may be the most entertaining thing we see. He performs the song "I'm Ken." He's got to perform that at the Oscars. I'm sorry. Hey, Rick, I got to get your take on it. Oppenheimer versus Barbie. What do you got?
I almost left the building then after that one. It's one of them that I want to abstain from. That talking about a Barbie movie in any form whatsoever, but. Oh, well, I'll take the plunge just based purely on what everybody said, because, again, no real following of either one of them. Right. I'm just going to go with the one on the left purely because, like you said, it looks like the Oscars. I think what came through my mind there with the one on the right there was just that maybe in another time frame, I think it will shake a few things up there that maybe films like that in the future may well get a look in. I feel like it'll be like breaking some sort of mold. But it'll be up against it, so it'll go with the most popular. So I think the one on the left.
And you know what? I would not have thought that a couple of months ago, but you're right. I mean, the more you start to realize the phenomenon this created, there's going to be another one. What it is, I don't know, but where they're going to go in that genre, it opens up a lot of doors without a doubt.
I think it's really encouraging for the movie industry because we got away from blockbusters like that. We started to kind of, it was like one great movie every now and then. But I miss the summer blockbuster, like the Jaws, the Ghostbusters, I miss that.
In a weird way, it brought movies back to people going to a theater. So in that sense, Barbie deserves a lot of credit for getting people back into the theaters without a doubt,
Yeah.
Even though I saw it at home. Sorry.
Barbie versus Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters wins hands down.
It does.
We are not even going to read the tarots on that.
I know what the tarot would say, but
wait, hold on a second. What's in your list? Oh yeah, that's right.
I have a 6-foot Vigo from Ghostbusters 2 on my wall.
Oh my God.
It was my wedding present from Gregopedia.
Wow.
I initially was very alarmed. Yeah. And then he built a frame and it kind of tied the whole room together. So I said, okay.
Yeah, at least he didn't give you the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Think of it that way.
That's
right.
Just a little.
I love the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Oh my God. How could you not?
I love that part. That was the best.
Hey, we're all on screen, so that means that we're just about to wrap this up. So we got to say thank you to our panel and go around one by one. Plug anything you want to plug. FTA, go right ahead if you got anything.
Nope, not yet.
Not yet.
It's working.
No
process.
No problem. Thor, you've got your YouTube channel and a couple other things. What's up?
Yep, YouTube channel. You can follow me on TikTok. Also, my website if you're interested in a Vedic astrology reading.
Very cool. Tarot, and
I want to highly recommend that. Thor is amazing. So
cool.
if you have any interest, even if you've had your other chart done, get your Vedic chart done, because I like Thor. One of the things he said to me, he goes, "I don't want you to be alarmed. Your star sign may change," and it didn't. I was still a Cancer, so I was all excited. But it can give you some different insight into. Maybe you don't fit into your other astrology sign. Maybe your other astrology horoscope doesn't quite resonate with you. Having a Vedic look is really, really interesting, because it actually brings out some more nuance, in my opinion. That was what I felt. Thor and I also did a collaboration, and I would love to do another collaboration with him. It was really fun. So guys, keep your eyes out for that, because we had a really good time doing that. We were bringing up charts. We had different screens all over the place. It was super fun.
And by the way, we now know TD is available.
TD is now available for reading.
Yeah, I have an Instagram channel, is my primary channel. It's just Tarot Destiny altogether. YouTube is Tarot-Destiny, and I am going to start readings up here for others in 2024. So
we encourage everybody to give Tarot a opportunity. Congratulations on that. Rick, I'll mention the book again. Graceful Thoughts is still available on Amazon. And for anybody else who wants to find you,
Rick Paul, psychic, medium, and thought therapist on YouTube and on Facebook. I'm like Dog Muck, mate. I'm around pretty much everywhere that you go.
And how do people contact you if they want to get a reading from you, Rick?
Medium Rick 007@gmail.com. And also, don't forget to tune in on Monday for our upliftment, our session with the lovely fortune cookies here, and we discuss all sorts of things. We get a real good vibe. So vibing with the tribe on Monday. It's early morning in America, and it's sort of midday dinner time in good old England.
And we broadcast both on my channel and Rick's channel, so you can find us
It's
all
awesome.
over the place. And it is live. We take questions. We have a great time with it. So, absolutely, everybody come there, get your plug in for the week, and
don't forget to plug in your stuff there real quick.
Oh, so Fortune Cookies Tarot. You can find me on Twitter X, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and I will be working this week on my ebook. I'm going to produce a number of books, but I figured I would start with the ebook format, giving a condensed version of my tarot class. There will be a new session of my 12-week tarot 101 course coming up, but I got to get through band season. I'll still be doing content for you guys, collabing with Rick, collabing with Thor, and with my girls TD and Florida Tarot Apprentice. We want to make sure that we nurture and enrich our little community here, and we get everybody over to them. I'm available for private readings at my website, fortunecookiestarot.com, but you can also find the links for everybody in the below. And I want to thank Rob Acampora once again, my super long-term friend, for hosting for us. He does a great job. We love Rob.
Rob.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Make sure that you go over and subscribe to his channel.
That's the A. Yeah, it's called the A Game. Past episodes within the last few months. Robbie Takeak of the Goo Dolls, Brian O'Halloran from all Clerks trilogy movies, and my recent guest Lauren Hart, the national anthem singer of the Philadelphia Flyers. She's been doing it for 27 years. Great stories from her. Worth checking out. I appreciate it. And with that, we have to call it a day. We'll be back in 2 weeks. That's going to be our goal, to try to do this every 2 weeks. And what we got up our sleeve, we don't know. We'll see what the universe brings us over the next 2 weeks. For my impressive panel, we will see you in the future.